Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Wednesday night, fundamentals to gain inner peace. And tonight we're doing week number 4. We're going to discuss how week number 3 went, what are the things that came up, and we're going to get into week number 4. And I want to thank you all for the feedback. Whatever the questions that you have, things that come up are always welcome. You can send to coachmenachem@gmail.com. It's just good to see most of you are doing the work. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect with the breathing, seeing some movement, things are happening, and that's all we need. We're not trying to do anything, just being, and we're learning how to be. That's what it is, learning how to be in the moment, seeing ourselves, feeling ourselves, and not always that easy. So let's get started as usual. Let's take a minute and just come into the room. It's Hanukkah, people are busy, coming, going, just taking a moment, a few minutes for yourself and seeing where you are. You're able to join us tonight and just take a deep breath and see how you got here, how you managed to get here. And let's take the moment just to be. So take a deep breath, put both of your feet on the floor, just feel grounded. Become aware of your surroundings, of where you are. Another deep breath. And then we turn inwards to see, how does my body feel? What do I feel in my body? Stressed or relaxed? Tired? Busy? Just becoming aware of how our body feels, connecting to it. And that's part of the journey, the awareness journey that we're doing. Slowly but surely, we're getting used to it. Just to be able to be aware of what am I feeling. Not a thought. It doesn't have to have a story to it. It's just, what does my body feel? Beautiful. So here we are. Week number 4. And before we start, just to see, reflect on week number, the third week, on your third week, how it went, how's the breathing going. If you did it a few times, try to do it every day, twice. And I know even though you missed once or twice, it's okay. We're not stopping. And even though you think it's not really working, we're committed. We're still doing it. We're continuing. And different things that come up, for everybody different. No two the same. Things, whatever comes up, that's movement. Whatever it is. And a lot of people have shared, and thank you for that. Some people have a hard time falling asleep. Some people feel tired after doing the work. Emotional. Some had, some felt like crying, irritated, confusion. Some felt calm and peace, which is amazing. But the goal is not to feel calm and peace. If you feel it, great. But even if you don't feel it, it's also good. Because like we mentioned, we're not here to feel good. We're here to become better at feeling. We're learning how to feel, because that's really the answer. Once we know how we feel, once we can become aware of what we feel, we can be in control. We can understand, and then we can respond. So whatever comes up, we're just becoming used to feeling. Some people have a hard time next to other people, less patience, whether it's at home, at work, kids, spouse, again, whatever comes up. It's things that are there, Until now, you might not be aware of it. We're running, keeping ourselves busy. But now, with the breathing twice a day, we stop. And that's what happens. When we stop, things come up. So last week we covered receiving the message. How do you receive the message? By asking ourselves. We're able to ask ourselves the question, how does this triggering event impact me on the level of felt perception? We're getting used to feeling, not waiting for an answer. It's when you ask yourself that question, afterwards you stop and feel. How does it impact me? How does this triggering event? How do I feel? What does my body feel? And like we mentioned, the mirror effect. When you see something in the mirror you don't like, it has nothing to do with the glass, with that piece of glass. Or the mailman that delivers the bills, we're not angry at the mailman. So when you have people around you, certain things that trigger you, make you upset, we stop looking at the messenger, stop looking out there. And we stop telling ourselves a story, because usually we tell ourselves a story that probably they don't like, and this is who they are, and it's all about pointing fingers and blaming. Stop to blame. We don't point fingers. What we do is we close our eyes. Doesn't have to be in the moment, but basically we go inside and we feel, what do I feel when I see that? What do I feel when my coworker says that? What do I feel when my kids do that? What do I feel? And that could take time. Not always you get it right away. And like we mentioned, we don't have to have an answer for that, because answering is logic. That's the mental. We don't want any mental stories. We want to feel, felt perception. So we're going to continue with that, and we'll get used to it. We're doing it for a week, but it doesn't stop. The journey doesn't stop. It continues, and we become aware. And now, before we go to week number 4, let's recap. Okay, so the first week, the conscious response was, this moment matters. Basically, with the breathing, we become aware of the moment, of the here and the now. Instead of being busy with the future, thinking about the past, thinking about so many different things that are in our minds, we slowly, with the breathing, come back home, come back in the here and the now. And the second week, the conscious response was, I recognize my reflections and projection. Basically, to identify the messenger, the things that we don't like, the things that make us upset, those triggers. It could be people, situations, places, smells. It can be a lot of things that trigger something inside of us. Like we said, reflection, it brings back a memory. Projection is what we do about it. What do we do when we trigger? If you hear somebody's voice that you don't like, so probably brings up a memory from the past. What do? Maybe you leave the room. You might scream, talk louder. That's the projection. That's the response. Last week, the conscious response was, I choose to respond. Basically, it's getting the message, not looking at the messenger. We try to understand the message. What's it making me feel? Because that feeling that comes up is a message, something, an insight. By asking the questions, how it makes me feel, just asking yourself a question a few times, and just whatever comes up, let it come up. What do I feel? How does it make me feel? And you turn inwards to your body to see how you feel. So that's, I choose to respond. We go from being reactive, constantly reacting, to responding, to make a decision. What do I want to do? How do I feel? Maybe, I can decide. It's only after you're aware of how you feel, you can make a decision. I want to stay quiet. I want to speak up, whatever it is, but it's a decision that you're making. And in this week number 4, the conscious response is, I feel unconditionally. Unconditionally, I feel. Whatever feeling comes up, you sit with it. You don't run away. I feel unconditionally. And that's how we're going to integrate the emotions that come up, suppressed emotions. When we stop, we slow down with the breathing, things come up, and not always do we like the way it feels. Uncomfortable, or sometimes even it could be pain. You can feel in your body aches, and we sit with it. Basically, until now, you're scared. We were scared of pain, but now we're learning slowly to be okay. We're not running away from it. What did we do in the past? Even being busy, like we mentioned many times, people don't have time to stop and breathe. People, they don't have time to just take care of themselves, to sit down and relax. They're constantly busy. And that can be like an addiction. And that's what addiction does. We run away from something. And if you want to know what you're running away from, stop the addiction and you'll find out. So by stopping for a few minutes every day, and you're not running around, you're not constantly in the rat race, you'll find out why you would rather run and be busy, because things are going to come up. So again, it has to be done gently. Keep on breathing, and take it easy on yourself. But whatever comes up this week, we're learning how to sit and feel, not to run away. So what are the ways that we run away? Like we mentioned, it could be keeping yourself busy. We sometimes control the way we feel, numbing ourselves, overworking, sometimes drugging ourselves. It's sometimes even eating. It's doing something. We become aware of, what do I do to run away from that pain that I don't want to feel? So basically, we resist the pain. I don't want it to come up. So what am I going to do? Something. Everybody does something else. But whatever you do, not to feel the pain. And this week, we're going to change our perspective on that pain that comes up. We will embrace it. Until now, it made us feel this, uncomfortable, push it away. We thought it's our enemy, but now we're learning, wait a second, that has a message, and it's here to assist us. It's here to tell us something. But just for now, we're just becoming aware. And when the pain does come up, we continue breathing. And that's how eventually we integrate emotions that we've put away for years. You let the emotions come up, we continue breathing, and just feel. Suppressed emotions come up. And again, for everybody, it's different. It might be just uncomfortable, feel something in your body uncomfortable, or it might be, you might feel some pain, and it's normal. And that's the way the body is telling us something from the past, something that we've picked up, we've put away for many years. And now by stopping, by doing this breathing, by just being, these things come up. And in the reading, which we'll read this week, you'll see that example that he brings. If somebody asks you to take care of their house for a few days. They're going overseas. So you come and you move into their house and you take care of, their pets, their plants, keep the house clean, lights. And then they ask you to maybe take care of their feelings. And that's something that's just not possible. It's something that you can't take care of somebody else's feelings. You don't know what they feel. And nobody out there can take care of your feelings. We have to, every one of us has to become aware of our own feelings to be able to integrate, to be able to be there, and to eventually let it go. You have to be in touch with your own feelings. So here we are. This is what we're doing. Again, not always easy, but we can't have others do it for us. It's all the way we feel. And we discussed it in the past. That's why it could be that element of loneliness, because it's all about you. It's deep down. You go down to the core of yourself, understanding yourself, sitting with yourself, feeling whatever comes up. And even if you do try to share it with others, which is okay, but there's always that little element that they are not going to get fully what's going on. It's only you that feels it. And that's why people are scared of loneliness. They don't want to sit with it. And you could understand that. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. Think about it. That's the feelings that we're talking about. And that's the feeling that we're going to learn how to sit for a few minutes, continuing the breathing. Again, if you do the breathing twice a day, while you're doing the breathing, these things come up. You don't need to look and understand the feeling. You don't have to tell yourself stories, try to figure out why. That's being in your head. We're trying to get out of our head. We want to be in our body. You want to know how you feel. So by stopping, doing the breathing, asking yourself a question, when did I feel this in the past? What do I feel? What does my body feel? These things come up. And what you're doing is you're stopping, you're turning inwards into yourself, inside your body, to see how your body feels. And you continue breathing. Stay there, in and out, connected breathing, in and out. But that's the uncomfortable things that come up, but we feel unconditionally. Here I am, and I'm feeling. Basically, it's like listening. Listen to the pain. Listen to where it hurts. Again, it doesn't have to say anything. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't have to. Just be there. Be there. Feel it. Again, if it's easy, no. It's simple. Think about it. To bring up these suppressed emotions from many, many years and to integrate them, all you have to do is just stay there, just be. It sounds very easy, and it's simple technique. Just be, don't change anything. Whatever comes up, let it come up. So yes, it's simple, but it's not always easy. It could hurt. It's hard. It's the reason why we're used to running away. So this week, we're learning how to be unconditionally, even with the discomfort that comes up. No agendas. We're not there to change anything. And we're even not there to fix it. And you're thinking, oh, after this, I'll feel great. Doesn't have to be. You might not feel great yet. But we're getting better at feeling. That's the goal. The goal is to feel, not to fix the way you feel, because you've tried to do that till now. You didn't like the way you felt, so you did something, you ran, you kept yourself busy, you told yourself, maybe I should do this, take that, to change the way you feel. But now we're just feeling, not trying to fix it, not trying to change it, Not trying to think, where does this come from? Why do I feel this way? Because then you're getting ahead. Close your eyes, keep on breathing, and just feel your body. That's the felt perception that we're looking for. Just feel. And the emotions come up. And that's how we integrate. That's how it comes up. We let it come up. And eventually, it won't control us anymore. That's what we're looking for. We become aware. We don't get scared. We can make decisions. Sounds amazing. But I understand that it's not always that easy. But doing the work, just the breathing. This week is all about feeling. And I welcome you just to embrace those feelings. You can write them down to make it a little bit easier. But just keep on breathing and ask yourself, what do I feel? Where in my body do I feel it? And just continue breathing for 15 minutes. And write down afterwards what you felt, how it went. Was it easy? Was it hard? Just write it down so you can track, see if changes from day 1 to day 5, to see if there's any changes. So that's it for today. We're going to open up for Q&A if somebody wants to ask. But again, this week is all about feeling. And I do want to thank you all for sending the feedback. And it is interesting to see the movement. Everybody's different. And it's all valid. Whatever comes up, it's all valid. But the idea that I see is that we're becoming aware. People tell me that till now they didn't even realize. They didn't realize why they get upset. They didn't realize that it really has nothing to do with the other person, something that brings up inside of them. That itself is amazing. Somebody shared that it made them cry. People around them, in the other room, were scared. They didn't know what to do. That's okay. That's part of integrating, part of the process. Things come up. Some people felt calm, but again, if you're looking for that, I'll be fixed, everything will be calm. We're not there yet. Hopefully one day, but really it's letting things come up, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. You can send your question in the chat, or you can raise your hands. Here we have one question. This is a great question. My belief is that if I stop and feel, my life is going to be very complicated. So I'm here for you. I understand. And like I always say, again, if somebody went through real trauma, they might need somebody to sit with them and do the work together. Because yes, it does bring up things that we don't like. And it feels complicated. You slow down, you're not interested anymore. Different things come up. You don't like it. So we rather shut it down, have our routine, stick to our routine, and then go to sleep the next day again, and then go to sleep, and the next day again, because if we stop and think, our life will become complicated. But the truth is that who's really running your life? Those feelings that don't let you be in touch with them. They're really, that's the reason why you're keeping yourself busy, why you're doing certain things. Because if you stop, you don't like the feeling. So are you in control, or something, a belief, something inside of you from years? It could be a teacher, a parent, a friend, something that you picked up that make you feel a certain way. And that's why you're continuing like this, basically in the rat race. So again, this is why we're doing the work. And hopefully you can do it by yourself, but if not, reach out to somebody so they can sit and be there a therapist, a friend, somebody who understands the work. Okay. Okay, the breathing. Well, people asking if the breathing is safe. I'm going to say it again. The breathing is basic breathing. For those who breathe heavy, you don't have to. For those who are taking very deep breaths and feel if it's too much, you don't have to do that. It's basically breathing the way you breathe. The only difference is that you're not stopping in middle. It's connected. You're in and out, in and out, in and out. You can do it as fast as you want, as slow as you want. So please do it the way you're comfortable. I need you to be comfortable with the breathing, because if not, number one, you're not going to do it. And number two, you're going to be so busy with your breathing, if it's right or wrong, that you're not going to be there. You'll be occupied with thinking about your breathing. So find a pace that works for you. Relax, take it easy. And that pace in and out, just keep on breathing in and out. Your mind is going to wander. And when you see that, just bring it back to the breathing. In and out. Some people start falling asleep a little bit and then they come back, which this is fine. But again, it's safe because it's regular breathing. That's it. And again, in the course, you can find different slow, fast, medium with music or whatever it is. Choose the one that works for you. Basically, the idea is to sit 50 minutes and breathe, connected breathing. And that's, if you do that, things are going to come up. For those who are embarrassed to reach out for help, well, that's something that you should be aware of. And think to yourself, what comes up? Why do I feel this way? And then make the phone call, try to reach out to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody you know. Because you don't want to live your whole life because you were embarrassed to do the work. You want to get yourself the help you need so that you can slowly do the work, integrate, and be there, start living. So I think most people could do the work. The 10-week course that we're doing, most people can do it by themselves. And if you're scared to do it by yourself, again, I would say if there's no major trauma in your life, it's this, you're scared from the things that are going to come up. And with the breathing and the reading that we're doing, I don't think anything major will come up. It's just going to be emotions. And for those who are scared of emotions, we get used to it. We see how it feels, and we slowly not to understand it, but we're slowly there with the emotion, and then we can let it go. But again, if you feel you can't do it yourself, reach out and get the help you need. Okay, one more question, just a second. Okay, so somebody's asking, how do I know if I'm reacting or responding? And that's a good question. I would say sometimes it could be the same action. You can do the same action, and one time it might be responding, and the other time it might be reacting. So let's say, for example, your child asks you something and you say no. They want to go somewhere, you say no. So first of all, I would say, how fast was that no? But they might ask you to go somewhere you don't want to take them. They've asked you many times. So the same no, sometimes it could be a reaction. It's like every time they ask you, they make you nervous. And I told you already. So you're nervous and you're right away throwing back no. So that's a reaction. Response is listening to their question, seeing how you feel when they ask that question. You start feeling that uncomfortable feeling of, well, again, the same thing, you feel it. And then you make a conscious decision to say no. Now, when I said it sounds, the first one was fast and the second one very slow. But you can do the same thing. You can say no. It can be a reaction. The other time, it's no, but it's a decision that you made. With practice, you can do it right away. But it's you're aware of the moment. You're aware of where you are and how you feel. Reacting is that you're not aware. Usually, it's after we react, we look back and we see the whole story. We're like, oh, we were all nervous and this is what we did. So we can look back, which is also good. It's a step. Look back at what happened, analyze it, figure it out, see what could I do different next time. Beautiful. But that's reaction, constantly reacting. You come home after days of work, you see, you told this coworker that, you told your boss, you sent this email, and you're thinking to yourself, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I send that email? So those were all reactions. And now you're thinking back, oh, I could have done it differently. Respond means I'm aware of how I feel and I make a decision. How do I want to respond? When I come home, I'm not rethinking it. I made a decision. Did a great job. Is there any way to train myself to have less feelings and emotions? Great question. So there are people who have to learn how to have less feelings and emotions. And that's true. And for them, they need to look for the help that suits them. Meaning there are people who live constantly, they're constantly overflowing with their emotions. And they can't move, and the emotion takes them over, and it takes over their life. So they do have to probably see a therapist, sometimes CBT, to help you with not to be busy all day with the emotions and do the right thing, even though you're not in the mood, or even though you're not, things are not working out, but to be able to continue. Really, what we're discussing is those people who are shut down from their emotions. They're very successful. They're doing amazing stuff during the day. They're always busy. There's so many things going on. And what we're doing here is we're slowing down, trying to become aware of the emotions. So it's just the opposite. So some people are living with their emotions all day and it takes them over. Therapy is a good idea to be able to understand the emotions and to understand when to continue, even though they have all of those emotions, and how to live their life, even though they're full of those emotions. They're feeling emotions all day. Take over their life. Anyways, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much. And remember, week number 4 is all about feelings. So here we are. And I wish you a happy Hanukkah. And hopefully you can do the work. And you can always let me know what comes up. Send me an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. Do the reading, conscious response, and the breathing. 15 minutes, twice a day. Even if you miss or you think you're not doing it perfectly, it's fine. We continue. Any more questions, you can always send an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. We'll be in touch. Have a great night, and I'll see you next Wednesday.